Hello, and welcome back to Drunk Approach. I am sorry that it's been a while. You might not care. To be fair, you might just stumble across this video and think I didn't even know who this guy was, so I don't really care that he's apologizing. But there might be some people that have seen videos before. It's been a month since my last one, and are wondering if I've died. I don't know what would happen if I had died, really. I suppose the channel would remain. How would they get the password? Anyway, I'm not dead. What are my excuses? I've moved flat again. So that was a whole thing. It's not very big, so I've had to move a lot of things around, and it's just been a bit of a rigmarole. I've had a lot of things on every weekend, and these videos take a while to record and edit. But the big reason, to be honest, is the weather. I live in the northeast of England, and if you've ever been to the northeast of England, you will know that the weather is not good. But the last month we've had 3 heat waves in the UK, which actually stretched up to the northeast. So I've been outside. I've been enjoying being in the sun. I've kind of got a tan, but there's been messages from people asking where I've gone. But the big kind of wake-up call for me was my friend AJ, who is a big fan of the videos. Shout out to AJ. His fiance often messages me pictures of him watching my videos in bed. That's what they're doing in bed, not what you think they should be doing, and what most couples, especially engaged couples, should be doing. No, he's watching these videos. So this video is dedicated to AJ and Bob, and this is an exciting video because I'm actually going to be flying today to the location of their wedding that we are all going to. I'm not going to try and pronounce the name of the airport that we're going to end up at. This is the name of the airport that we are going to, a city in Kerala, which is a state in India. Thiruvananthapuram. So for now on, I think I'm just going to call it Thiru. So if you ever hear me say Thiru, I'm referring to that word. We're at Heathrow Airport. We are going to be flying to Doha first. And that is in this Boeing 777 British Airways flight. And then when we get to Doha, there's a connecting flight from Doha to Thiru. And that is going to be in an Airbus A320. This is going to be a very long haul flight. It's around 6 hours to Doha, and then another 4 hours from Doha to Thiru. This is the longest haul flight I've ever done on this game, and certainly will have ever done in real life once we actually do it in January. So let's look inside. I've switched some things on already just to kind of get things going. All the electrics, window heat, emergency lights, a bit of the hydraulics as well. So we're going to go down to our flight bag here, menu, and we're going to go into, oh god, this is so complicated, this thing, I forgot. Simplified loading, yeah. And we're going to fill from SimBrief. However, we've not connected SimBrief yet because I've not used this in a while, so I need to go to external services, Navigraph services, get data from SimBrief, EGLL to OTHH, which is the Doha airport, and the specific Doha airport, there's 2, isn't there? This one is the Hamad International. That's the one I'm flying to, because apparently that's the one they fly to with British Airways, and I thought, well, I better replicate that. So fill from SimBrief, load airplane, and if we go FMC, and there we go, enter inertial position, EGLL, into there, and then routes. So obviously the origin is EGLL in, and then we're going to, what is it, OTHH, so OTHH, that's the destination, and then the flight number is going to be, I think I had it down as BA4427 flight number, and then the company route I have saved, it should hopefully bring it all up, is EGLLOTHH. Co-route. Nav data differs. Now going to try and export an FMS file without the SIDS and the stars, so that means it's going to be a 01 on the end. And it liked that. Okay, note to self, when exporting an FMS file for the Boeing 777 flight factor, don't do it with the SID and the star included. It doesn't like that for some reason. 27 right, is the runway. Good. Activate. Execute. And that is all in. Okay, let's go to our departure and arrival. So, yes, it's going to be 27 right. The SID, Maxi 1F, that's it. That one. No transition. And, okay, execute. And then arrival in Doha, 34 right. 34 right, which is that one. The star is Labe. Oh, there you go. Labe 1J. You can tell I've not done this in a while. I'm a bit slow, sorry. And then the transition is Lagma. Execute. Then we're going to go to our initialization. Come out. Come here. Come with me. Why is it there? And why is it massive? And so we've got to input some stuff here. So gross weight, which will be our total weight, is that. So 225 tons. So 225. Reserve was going to be 5. Reserves is always good. Cost index was 50. And cruising altitude is going to be 35,000. So 350. There we go. Flaps, I think, will go 5. And that gives us our V speeds. And then we've got to enter our CG here, our CG percentage. And I think that is this one here, the Mach. Yeah, so that's effectively our trim. So 28.4 is the figure we want there. And our takeoff weight should be 223.6. Whether I believe it or not is another matter. But, oh, and it's changed my takeoff speeds now. So that's annoying. Yeah. We should have put that in first. Anyway, that's fine. My flight plan comes through here. And then I need to manually fly this bit from Dasik to Lagma because it just doesn't quite connect together in the flight plan. So that's fine. I've come across that before, but I must remember that. Otherwise, it'll just continue on this heading, I think, forever. Look at that. Yeah. All right. Let's do some plane stuff. So we're going to arm some things. We'll pre-arm our LNAV. We'll also do our VNAV. It's not letting me fire up the LNAV. Is that because my flight directors aren't on? That's why. See? Problem solving there. Let's fire up the APU. On. Start. There you go. You can see my APU is revving up. Temperature's increasing. It's all good stuff. And if we go outside the plane, you can see there's this stuff coming out of the back, and that's the APU working, which is a good thing. Turn these to auto for sure. We're in a position now to start doing some lights, so we'll put the beacon on. Go to hydraulics and switch on center hydraulics C1 and C2 and flick these demand switches to auto. No more orange messages on here, which means it's fine. The APU's running. So I need to have a look at our fuel situation now. There's a lot of fuel in this plane. Okay, so there's none in the center tank, to be fair. So we don't need to turn on cross feeds necessarily for now. My understanding is that all we need to do is that, and that. Beer. Okay, I think we're going to push back now. Pushback. Start pushback. And I'm back doing my favorite job. I'm a tug man. Once again. So we need to come out and then to the left. Yeah, it's good. It is good. It's just a bit buggy still. But I use the throttle. I move it forwards. In a moment you'll see the thing, the ball, there you go, here. I need to get that in the green, and I'm always conscious of twatting the plane, because apparently they do simulate that if you hit it too fast, it breaks the wheel, and then you have to start all over again. So, and I don't fancy that, because this is the world's most complicated plane to set up, as you've seen. Okay, that's in the green. If I click this now, it should connect. But of course, it hasn't. It's a brilliant idea. Oh, okay. So you don't want to be in the exact middle of the green. You need to be just a tiny bit in the red. Now, normally you would start the plane's engines during pushback, but because I'm also doing the pushback, I don't really back myself doing both jobs at the same time, if I'm honest. So I'm going to just get the plane in the right position first. Yeah, it is tricky to line it up right on the yellow lines, on the taxi lines. This is not going to be perfect, realistically. I'm not a professional tug man, but I do like to tug. That is for sure. That's all right. But yeah, that's me driving away, and I'm doing that. There you go. So let's start the engines. So that starts up here, where we go, and we'll start with engine 2, the second one. So we go start and flick the fuel lever to run. That should switch. There you go. There's the switch, and then we'll do engine number 1, so the left engine to run. I'm hoping that's not smoke coming out of the engine. I've got no warnings. It might just be the temperature, or I don't know. Ooh! Did I just engage the reverse thrusters? No, don't do that. I just engaged the reverse thrusters there by accident. Just need to keep my head here. Let's switch off the APU. Where's the anti-ice? I don't think we'll need it. There is a lot of cloud going on, so... Oh, there you go. I'll do that to auto anti-ice. Let's set our flaps to 5. See our flaps here. I've got a little control here. So 1, 2 to 5. Auto brakes to RTO, which is there. Setting the trim. The trim. How do I do that again? Is it flight control? There we go. On your MCDU, if you go to the init ref, the takeoff reference, that was my CG I put in. The trim is 4.75. So, oh, wrong way. So if I go that, 4.25, 4.5, 4.75. Okay, trim is set. The altimeter. I need to change that. 29.6, 5. Yep. Flight director's on. LNAV's on. VNAV's on. Engines have started. Engines are looking good. Taxi lights need to now go on. There we go. Does my strobe need to go on? I can't quite remember when the strobe goes on. We'll just leave it for now. We will put our logo and our... We'll put our wing lights on? Yeah. So we are going to increase throttle slightly. Is it because my brakes are on? Is my parking brake on? Yes, it is. Fucking idiot. Just me trying to taxi with the parking brake on. Nothing to see here. And we are moving out. Obviously, it's a long flight, and I won't film the whole thing because I just think it'll be boring. And it'll use a hell of a lot of space up on my computer. But what we will do when we're in the air is... I get comments on my videos and on social media. A lot of questions about various things. So I'm going to pick some out and answer them. So that'll be something to do in the air. It's not going to fill 6 hours. It'll fill maybe 5 minutes. But it's something. I imagine I'll make some dinner. And of course, it's a 6-hour flight to Doha. And then we have another flight to do to Thiru, which is another 4 hours. This is going to be a long night. It's 6 p.m. here right now in England. There's going to be a lot of fucking about in between as well because I do things wrong all the time. This could be a 2 or 3 in the morning job. I should have started earlier. But I was delayed. There was things that I had to do, and I haven't done this in a month. And you can definitely tell. I just forget things. I've forgotten so many things. And that's the thing with all this flight sim stuff, is that you, once you're in the groove of it and you're doing it sort of every other day or every day, it all becomes second nature. You flow through the cockpit, you know where everything is, but literally just a month and a half away. And to be fair, I've not flown this specific plane for a good 2 months. I've just forgotten everything. And that's why I'm really paranoid about this very long haul flight, Because if I've forgotten to do something, then that's not good. I'd much rather troubleshoot on the ground than at 35,000 feet over ocean. There's all sorts of risk associated with this. And of course I'm doing this flight for my friend AJ and his fiancée Bob, who's also my friend, by the way. I say my friend AJ, I knew him first. Bob I now know and is also a friend. I suppose if I fuck this up, I've kind of ruined their wedding. Which, I mean, I don't think I could bear that. I couldn't bear that. Oh look, there's a plane. There you go. Still a lot of whatever that is. Smoke? Condensation. I'm hoping just water on the taxiway being sprayed. I have set this plane on fire before, I'm pretty sure as well. So I've got history. And to be fair, if it's on live weather, which it is, there should be water on the ground because it is pouring outside. I've also got traffic global turned on, which kind of generates planes and they come into land and they take off and stuff, but there's no real warning about when they're going to arrive and what have you. So actually I'm going to faff around before I line up, because what will happen is I'll line up, I'll start faffing around, and a plane will come into land and land on me. You can actually see one coming in now. There you go. So I'm definitely going to stop. He's coming in very low. He's not going to make the runway there. Is he going to crash? Maybe it's just my angle, but I mean, hey, he got it down. Alright, I think we'll do a rolling takeoff from the side, just so that once I have a gap, I hit it. So, we'll park up here, parking brake on. Let's look into our MCDU. Our first major milestone in terms of altitude is 6,000. So we'll chuck that in now. Like that. Do I arm the auto throttles? Probably. Yeah? Yeah, we'll arm the auto throttles. Let's have a look outside. Any planes landing? No, to be fair. Let's go. Landing lights on. Spinning it round. Rolling takeoff. We're not pausing, we're going. Yeah. Okay. Engines to 50%. Stable. Toga. And we are on our way to Doha. Here we go. The longest flight I've ever done. Ever. Literally never even bothered thinking about doing something this long haul. Because it's just such a ordeal. But we're doing it for AJ and Bob. V1. And that is rotate. Gently lift the nose. And that is a positive rate. Gear up. Let's just put this map in a little bit, just so I can see where I'm going. Bit of wind, to be fair. Okay, auto throttle's on. Autopilot's on. We're going to go one notch of flaps up. We're obviously flying into cloud right now as well, so difficult to see what's going on. But we're looking good. Next rung of flaps are coming in, and that will mean that all flaps are in. FPS is taking a big hit at the moment because we are going through quite a lot of weather. You can see very cloudy. Oh, cloud suddenly disappeared. Brightening up at the moment around London. I mean, it's horrible up here in the northeast. Honestly, if I could show you, I can't be bothered to turn the camera because it will be an ordeal. But it is absolutely chucking it down. Just for a reference for where we are at the moment, we've just left Heathrow, taking a big left swooping turn, and then over the channel, across Europe, past Italy, over Egypt, and landing after crossing Saudi Arabia at Doha. It's a long way. We then have a connecting flight taking us here to Thiru, as we're calling it. We're all looking good. It's maintaining 250. Well, it's just dropped slightly, but it'll recover it. We're on course. We're at 6,000 feet at the moment. Engines look good. Let's just have a look. But yeah, no problems, no obvious problems there. Let's turn off, obviously, our taxi lights and our runway turn-off lights. And we can turn off our landing lights at this point as well. It's a great looking plane, isn't it? Beautiful plane. It's an absolute beast. Very efficient. Just the 2 engines for such a big plane as well. Okay, so 6,000. We're now going to be climbing to our cruising altitude, sort of in an incremental way. So let's pop that in. FPS is still struggling a little bit just because of all this weather. It's the limitations of my Mac Mini M1. Unfortunately, that's another thing I need, is a new computer. My God, honestly, this thing struggles. Mac Mini cannot handle X-Plane 12, and I can't afford a really powerful gaming PC, so this will have to do for now. It's fine. It gets a bit jittery when you're in busy places and when there's a lot of weather, it struggles. But once you're sort of cruising, it's actually pretty good. And this plane is complicated. This plane has got so many features. It's the most complicated plane. Like, it's complicated is the wrong word, but just in depth. The sort of benchmark for good planes on X-Plane 11 is obviously the Zebo 737, which is the most astonishing thing. Freeware as well. Unbelievable. This was expensive. This was like, when did I buy this? I bought this in December and it was like 80 quid. I think it's worth it. You do get a lot. I have not used it enough to really justify paying that much, so I'm trying to learn more about it, but there is just so much. So much. I'm just going to change our altimeter to standard because we don't need to worry about that anymore until we actually get to Doha. A reminder as well, I do have social media stuff. Obviously YouTube is social media, but other things. I have Instagram and TikTok. I'll put them somewhere. Okay, we're at 35,000 feet. Thank goodness. And we all seem to be in one piece. We're cruising at 280 knots. Our true speed is around 500. This is where we are right now, so just coming towards Paris, over mainland France, and things are going well. So I thought, yeah, let's look at some questions I've received on social media, on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, and kill some time. Literally, it's just a time killer. And we'll start with, I think, the most common question that I am asked. Alexandru D05. Game name? X-Plane 11. Cars will crash. What game is this? X-Plane 11. DDJ Muertel. What is the name of the game? It's X-Plane 11. For any other person that has a question about what game it is, I couldn't make it clearer. It's X-Plane 11. Any video I make, until I make an announcement that I have a new game or a new computer, it's X-Plane 11. It always has been, and until that moment, it always will be. Dodgy Curry. Always find it commendable when someone learns how to fly a plane in Flight Sim, let alone something as complex as an A320 just for fun. Hats off to you. That's a nice comment. There's not many nice ones, but it is a nice one. And you know what? I haven't learned how to fly it. I don't know how to fly any of these properly. They are so complicated. There's a reason why pilots take years to qualify and it costs loads of money, because it's so advanced, the training and everything you need to know. And it's not just the systems, but it's the contingencies. If something goes wrong, what do you do? And I haven't got any of that knowledge. If something goes wrong here, as you see, I panic. I don't know what I'm doing. If I was on a plane and both pilots were incapacitated for some reason, and if someone on the plane goes, hey, we need a pilot, is there anyone here? I'm not putting my hand up. Just because I can complete a flight reasonably well on a simulator, I don't pretend that I can do it at all. I think it is commendable if anyone can learn to do it to an extent, because it is complex. It's addicting, it's quite obsessive. But the satisfaction when you actually learn it and you can do it is great. So that's a nice comment. Thank you. I'm always learning. I will never learn it properly. Izzy B. Average British bloke gets really high and then heads to Newcastle. I mean, firstly, I'm not high in any of my videos. And average British bloke. Now, either she's saying just, I'm just a classically British person, or she's saying I'm average looking. I don't like either, really. She's right, though, on both counts, to be fair. Thanks, Izzy. Tobias Hehe 100. I am your 135th subscriber. Remember me. Tobias Hehe 100. I will. Jan Castle Taught 22. Beer in hand and physics in shambles. New favourite flight sim YouTuber. Thank you. And I will never change. Rise Clarks. Rise Clarks? I think. Love your videos. Was just curious what you do for work. I'm a journalist. I read the news for a few radio stations around the country. And yeah, I've spent most of my career in broadcasting and talking shit. Hence this. The Great Goober Boober. I like that name. You're like Ryan Gosling but drunk and British. Good video. That might be the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. I'm pretty sure Ryan Gosling's been drunk before though. He might always be drunk. We don't know. Have we ever tested his blood? I haven't. Have you? Just saying. Grinder Kenny. What simulator are you playing? Very cool. X-Plane 11 Grinder Kelly. Kelly? Grinder Kelly? Was it Grinder Kelly? Kenny. Sorry. X-Plane 11 Karthik 6512. Hey, are you running this on Mac? If so, please mention the model. It's a Mac Mini M1. I bought it. It's refurbished. It was like 400 quid, something like that. It's great for everything except gaming. It's fine. It's fine. I think if you're looking for a cheap option for Mac, the Mac Minis are really good. There are better ones than this one. There's like an M2 and there's an M something Max something or other. 16 gig of RAM, 250 gig storage. So I have to use a hard drive for a lot of stuff like this video stuff. I have to put all the video on there. So my hard drive is basically all X-Plane because of the scenery and all that kind of stuff. The Mac Mini's good though. Like the FPS isn't great. I'm averaging 20, which is just about playable. Depends on the weather and what plane I'm using and loads of other stuff. Some of the other planes, the towless ones, do really well. So I've got a towless A320, which I'll be flying in the next leg of this journey. That does pretty well FPS wise. This Flight Factor 777 is just okay. Just. I'm in the air right now, so like there's less buildings and stuff, and I'm on 24 FPS. But when I was on the ground at Heathrow, it was just below 20. If you're looking for a budget option and you're not that arsed about it being the best quality, this is a good option, but I am looking to upgrade. So, hopefully at some point. But I need money. McMobdob? H3M? McMobdob? Don't know. Why do you play X-Plane over MFS? Because I don't have a PC. If I had one that was good, I would play MFS because the graphics looks better and you get an A380. And I really want to fly the A380. If I got a good PC, I'd fly both games, to be fair. I get X-Plane 12 and I'd have Microsoft Flight Sim as well. But that's the reason. Pure technical limitations. Jeff Merlin 2580. Speaking about Star Wars, I would say you look like Princess Leia. No offense. It's hard not to be offended by that, Jeff. It's hard. She's a good-looking woman. Was. In the film, she's good-looking. Not the recent ones. I mean, she's an old lady in the recent ones. She's as an old lady goes, she's a good-looking old lady. I am not sexually attracted to her, but in the originals, yeah. I don't look like her. Fuck you, Jeff. But thanks for watching. JM Findlay 7, love these landing challenges. Thanks, JM Findlay 7. I need to do more of them, really. I just need to find things to land on. There's only so many things you can land on. Boats, ground, mountains. I've kind of done all of those now. If you have any suggestions, do let me know. Josh on TikTok. Sounds like Jeremy Clarkson. Also H. Is this the in-game voice from Jeremy Clarkson? Jeremy Clarkson. I do like Jeremy Clarkson. I love Top Gear. I like Clarkson's Farm. Maybe I've, I don't know, adopted some of his intonation. I think we're just both British. I think that's what it comes down to. Playfreak 12, game name X-Plane 11. Connolly Boyle. You sure you're having fun? Well, I appreciate the concern, Connolly. Yes, I wouldn't do this if I wasn't having fun. I don't always have the time to do it. I would like to do it more. Yeah, do I not look like I'm having fun? I think I give off a fun vibe. I'm happy. I'm happy. But thanks for asking. Good to check in. Charlie, what game? Soham here, man. Ignoring taxiway like she ignored me. Ah, Soham, we've all been there. We've all been there. You go into the DMs, you're waiting for the reply. It's a ghost. What you got to remember, Soham, is that I treat my women like taxiway lines. Where am I going with this? Yeah, it's good to ignore them sometimes, because if you are always on them, then that'll seem overly keen, and even though you have the best intentions, sometimes it's good to give them some space. Let them have space to miss you. That's how I treat my women and taxiway lines. Both work. And we'll do one more. Valines Pedjo. What's the name of the game, bro? X-Plane 11. Well, I hope you enjoyed the Q&A. Any more questions? Shoot 'em my way. But if one of you asks what game this is again, I block you. Actually, I don't have that many subscribers, so I can't really afford to block, so it's fine. I'll just ignore it though. I won't answer. I won't answer. So we're heading towards the Alps. That's good. And we're probably a sixth of the way there. Maybe. Might make some dinner soon. Gotta eat at some point. I have nothing more to say really than to let this thing cruise for a bit. Make some food. Have a wank. That's a joke. I'm not gonna have a wank. Probably join you again when we're getting near the descent phase, and we'll talk through what to do. We'll naturally cock that up. But things are going well overall. Beautiful evening. Look at that. Sun setting. We'll probably be flying through the night, it would appear, which is fine. I don't have anything to do tomorrow. It's a Saturday. It's raining outside. It's the perfect day to do this, really. But yes, I shall leave you, and I will speak to you very soon. And I'll leave you with some lovely cruising shots to fill the time. A little intermission, if you will. Enjoy. It's late where I am. I don't know what time it is. Where's my watch? Where's my bloody watch? We are close. This is what the situation is. We're around halfway across Saudi Arabia. Very soon we'll be entering Qatar, and once we're in Qatar, we're very close to Doha. Didn't quite appreciate how long this would take. I mean, I knew how long it would take, obviously, but that amount of time has felt long. The good news is, well, doesn't sound like good news. I have run out of beer, but because we're on the late shift now, we've got a lovely whiskey. It's not a nice whiskey. It's only 3 years old. It's blended Scotch, and I felt in these trying times that it was the best course of action. So cheers. Ooh, that is pungent. I've been watching James Bond, Skyfall. I've been watching them all in order. The Daniel Radcliffe ones. Daniel Radcliffe, Daniel Craig, confusing Harry Potter with James Bond. That is concerning. The nav radio is the first thing I'd like to look at. So this, you would hope, has the right ILS frequency, and this is saying that our localizer frequency should be 110.1. The final approach course should be 336. I'm going to write this down because I will forget. A few other things to look at is, well, our ILS intercept altitude. So you can see here, that's going to be 2,500 feet, and we need to look for our decision height. So there are a few different decision heights here. So we can either choose decision height A, B, C, or D. Aircraft category for decision height, Boeing 777. E is what it says. We don't have E. We have A, B, C, or D. I'm going to assume that A will be for smaller planes, B will be slightly larger, C will be even larger than that, and D will be the largest it can handle. So we'll go for D. Approach reference. Let's go full flaps. So 30-degree flaps, which will give us a 132 landing speeds. But let's have a look at our electronic flight bag and look at performance and look at not takeoff but landing. Now this is takeoff, show landing. Let's put in some information and it'll just help us fine-tune our settings. There we go. Reverse configuration, I'm going to try no reverse. Let's not do reverse because I'm not really trusting my reverse button on my throttle. 34 right is the runway. Flat configuration we've worked out already, that's going to be 30. The condition of the runway, well, I don't really know. I'm going to imagine it's dry, given that we are in Doha. We've got a 4-knot wind at 310 degrees. Visibility is very good. Temperature is very hot, but there is nothing to suggest that we've got rain to deal with. So let's assume the runway is dry. AI configuration. That's anti-ice, not actually AI. I don't think we're going to need AI. Wind 310 to 4. Outside air temperature is 35 degrees. QNH on arrival is going to be 29.35. And this is just estimating. I mean, I can't know what the landing weight's going to be, but we'll put it in. So 1805330. And this is where we've got to work out whether we've got enough auto brakes. We'll put 3 on for now and calculate. Landing speed should be 128. The MCDU said 132. We'll split it down the middle. 130. Landing distance 2076. That should be fine. put our autobate to 3, and we'll just move the heading dial so that when we're ready to start our approach, it is locked in at 336. I've got no ice, so it's just straight warm whiskey because it is still so hot here, humid. Oof, that burns. Really, I should be putting in 2,500 feet as our target altitude. Okay, we're going to just do that now then, just so that it's all ready to go. I think I've just heard one of my flatmates come in from their night out. I am not in the mood. Do not barge into my room. The more I think about it as I sit here in my chair, going into the 6th hour of sitting here, I couldn't be a pilot. I think it would be fun for the first hour, then you're up there, the view's amazing, don't get me wrong, but when you're looking at what I'm looking at right now, which is the night, not a huge amount to look at. Sorry, I realise I'm doing a video, so I need to be awake, but I've been up since 5 this morning. I had work this morning, came home, had some lunch, started this. I went down to make dinner. I had pasta. Don't have much in at the moment. Need to go on a food shop. I hate food shopping. I hate it because I don't know what I'm going to want to eat tomorrow. I don't know what's happening in my week. Anything could happen. I might want a pizza at some point. When will that be? Don't know. But then I should also get fresh food. But what if the fresh food goes off because I don't use it? Then it's a waste. Oh, there you go. So that TD is our descent moment. That's when we're going to start descending. Once we pass the TD mark, it should start descending. And if it doesn't, then this has been a huge waste of time. Yes. Yes. It's descending very fast and our speed is dramatically increasing, so I'm just gonna get some speed brake out. So let's put on our seatbelts. It does look cool up here, doesn't it? Look at that. Very cool. I like the green. You can see there is a runway there. I don't think that's our runway. Ours is more in that direction. This will be the first landing I've done on my channel in the dark. We probably won't disengage autopilot too early on the approach. We'll leave it as late as we can. Not a category 3 landing where I literally just don't do anything. I'm gonna fly the last bit of it, but it will need some level of automation to help us out. I'm just gonna increase our bank angle limit just because we've got an incredibly sharp turn coming up here that we're gonna have to take wide regardless, but I'm gonna just increase our bank angle limit, which you do here with the larger dial. And we also must remember that I need to switch off autopilot here, manually fly it to Lagma, and then initiate the approach phase from there. An overspeed warning, and indeed we have oversped. Should have kept an eye on that really. And at 234 we can initiate our first flaps. Yeah, we're definitely getting close to civilization. That is Doha, you'd imagine. Speed-wise, 234 we are at, so let's do another flaps. We're also now going to change the QNH on here, the altimeter. So the weather in Doha, 29:35. We need to change that too, so let's go here. Click that, 29:35. There we go. Must remember landing gear. This is the thing though, when you've been doing it for so long, 6 hours nearly now, you do forget the most basic things. Landing gear. I hadn't even thought about it. We're going to need that. You know what, I did think that that was our runway, but I think that's the other Doha airport. I think it's over there actually. Okay, we're going to decrease speeds now to 220. What can we do flaps wise? Yeah, we can go again to flaps 15. The more I think about this, the more I'm thinking I need to sleep. I've been up since 5 a.m. and I've got to do another 4-hour flight after this one. It's nearly 1 in the morning here. What I'm going to do, land this, bed, 7 hours, up, immediately. I'll start recording and we'll complete this journey. One last little one for the landing. Not very little actually, that was enormous. It is nice though, it does grow on you. The first class is tough, but afterwards I need to disengage here, come round, engage again with autopilot, approach button, latch onto the approach, glide slope should illuminate there. I need to be at 2,500 feet by the time we get to Dasik, and I need to be at 2,500 feet at Lagma. Autopilot disengage, start turning. Add a bit of speed brake because we're going to be descending. Round we go.
Caution, terrain. Caution, terrain.
That's okay.
Caution, terrain.
Did dip
Caution,
bit
terrain.
too fast
Caution,
there. That's
terrain.
fine. Okay, altitude wise I'm happy. Speed wise it's not too bad. I'm just worried about re-engaging with autopilot once we get to the approach. Kind of terrifying because I can't see anything. And what I'm going to do now is press lock. And that hopefully, there you go, you see, it's worked out where I need to go. We're going to go full flaps. Just overshot the corner slightly. But you can see, there's the runway. Okay, I'm going to go autopilot. It's not. There we go. Auto throttle back on. And just make sure that we're at the right kind of speed. Also going to press the approach button. And we're going to go landing gear down. And there we go. You can see GS is in green. I wish you could see the plane. We should probably put some landing lights on. Didn't even think about that. I was getting all distracted. But our landing lights are illuminated. We are ready. Okay, 6 hours of flying. Comes down to this. I'm going to disengage autopilot. We've got a strong wind.
300. Approaching minimums.
Approaching 3, 4,
Gonna
right.
be quiet here, just so I can focus on this landing. Speed's good. Recovered it.
500. 50. 40.
Okay.
30.
Power off.
20. 10.
Tell you what, I got a bit dicey towards the end. I just recovered that. I was starting to float to the right of the runway. I had to use some rudder in the end. Basically, once the back wheels are down, using the rudder just to turn the nose back in. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't pretty, but we got it done. We are going to turn off left here. And we're going to put runway turn off lights and taxi lights on as well. Well, that was a mind-numbing 6 hours. Obviously this will be heavily edited down for YouTube, but I can't honestly stress enough how mentally exhausting that is. Now, last time I flew this plane, I wanted to do a replay. Oh, am I going to hit that plane there? Shit. Ooh. Sorry. Why is he parked there? He's clearly in the way. Yeah, last time I wanted to watch a replay of my landing in this plane, and I just paused it here, like I was taxiing, just paused it, looked at the replay, came back to the plane, and it was on fire. And apparently that's a known bug with this particular plane. So I'm going to shut down the plane, and that should mean that it doesn't burst into flames, because that just annoys me a little bit, you know? Done all that work. Welcome to Doha. Doha Hamad International Airport. The first leg of our journey to India for AJ and Bob's wedding. Just creeping forward. That'll do. Handbrake on. Just cut off. Engine 2's dialing down. Cut off the fuel to engine 1. Let's look at the landing replay. Yeah, the problem here, guys, is it is just dark. I can't really show you it. It's not letting me play either. Why isn't it letting me play? Can I do night vision? View. Night vision goggles. Ooh. It's just not letting me play though. It's a bit weird. I don't know whether it's anything to do with the fact that it's just such a long flight. Yeah, just replay mode's just not working for that. But I can do step by step. I can do frame by frame. Yeah, this is the problem with landing in the dark, is that I don't know what I'm looking at. For some reason, replay mode's not letting me just press play. Yeah, look how far I drifted to the right. Well, there you have it. First leg done. I will be back in the morning to complete this 2-leg trip to India for AJ and Bob's wedding. I'm going to go to bed, and we'll do this all again in the morning. Good night. Morning. Welcome back. And I have slept. Feel a lot better. Good thing I didn't do the flight last night. That would have been a bad move. The only problem with doing this connecting flight to Thiruvananthapuram, I am going to call it Thiru though. Yeah, the only disadvantage is I can't drink really, because it's probably not a good idea to wake up in the morning with a beer or whiskey. So it's coffee today. And you know what? I'm pleased about that, because this has been a hell of a journey, and actually being a bit tipsy for this last leg might not be a good idea. We are at Doha Hamad International Airport, where we landed last night, and this is the Airbus A320 in the Qatar livery, because it tends to be Qatar Airlines that fly out of this airport, and I thought I'd make it as realistic as possible. It's going to be around a 4-hour flight, which is fine. I mean, 6 hours last night, so it's a bit better. This is the flight plan, so you can see we leave Doha, fly over the United Arab Emirates, over Oman, across the sea, right to southern India in the state of Kerala, where AJ and Bob's wedding will be taking place, and we'll be landing right on the coast here at Thiru. Again, there is going to be a bit of manual flying here, which isn't ideal because it was a little bit messy last night, although I was a bit drunk and it was in the dark, so hopefully a bit easier. But don't know what the weather's going to be like, really. Southern India, never flown there before, no idea. Okay, so I've prepped the electricals already. It's a bit dark in this cockpit. It's one of the problems with the towless A320. They haven't got the lighting quite right in here. Let's go to init and put in our route. So OTHH for Doha, and then we're going to VOTV. Put that in there. It should recognize it. It does. Good. The flight number, I've gone for, what did I go for? I think it's QR for Qatar, and then 506 for no reason at all. Cost index is going to be 50. Flight level 350. Dash, pop that in there. It's got the temperature in there already. We're going to just put the QNH in because it's one of those things I always forget to do. 29.32. 29.32. Let's go to our flight plan, go to our airport, and go departure. So we'll be departing from 34 left. Bank SID is going to be Datri W, Datr 1W, no transition. Insert, and then let's go to the arrival airport, which is here. We'll be landing on runway 32. Our arrival is going to be Sanot. Sanot, there it is. Novaya. Transition, it's just the final transition, so again, none. So we're also going to enter our departure transition. It's going to be 12,000. 12,000 passengers, 162. So pop that in. Forward cargo. Do we have any cargo? Yes, we do have cargo. 4,042 kilograms. We'll put 2,000 in each side. The block fuel is going to be 12,401. That'll have to do. Oh, this is in pounds. This is in pounds. pounds. Yeah, we definitely want kilograms. Imperial means pounds. I thought it meant kilogram. No, that's metric. Metric. That's what I wanted, not imperial. I was really wasted. I should have done a physics degree, clearly. I'm an absolute pro at this. Try that again. 162 for passengers. Block fuel in kilograms is going to be a lot. 12,400. So we're currently a bit too heavy, and I'm wondering if it's because each passenger and luggage weighs 100 kilograms. So let's reduce the passengers slightly, just so we get to the 0 fuel weight that we want, which is 61240, 61220. That's what you're getting. Apply these loads. Quick refuel. Now we can put that into here. So 0 fuel weight is going to be 61.2. The 0 fuel weight CG, it's saying it's 27 here. It's already got 25 in there, so I'm just going to change that. There we go. Block fuel, 12.4. That's a lot of fuel. This is going to be a heavy flight. There you go. And so it's calculating what we need for various things. Our total weight's going to be 73.4, which matches up with my sim brief. Our landing weight is going to be around 64. In sim brief it says 63814, so yeah, near enough. Let's go to the performance page, and we'll also go to the performance area here, the SF configuration. So that is basically the flap performance. So for heavier flights, we're going to need a bit more flaps than usual. So I'm going to go 2. I think we should use Toga. I like Toga. It leaves less room for error, so we'll stick with Toga. So back to our MCDU, which is this. Flaps is going to be there, and our THS is this figure here. So it's basically our trim, so it's up 0.9, so we're going to go up 0.9. That goes in that. And then our V speeds, so that's calculated them here for us, which is useful. So 139 is also going to be our rotate speed, 139, and then our V2 is 142. Doors are all closed, are they? They're looking pretty close to me. We'll turn our beacon light on now, which is this one. Usually I would plan and perform the pushback, but the last 3 or 4 times I've done pushback using this A320, it's glitched out and it's caused me loads of problems. It just so also happens that my Traffic Global plugin, which creates more aircraft flying around and populates the airport basically, isn't working. It keeps crashing. So we're in an empty airport. I'm just going to drive off. I don't need pushback. I don't need pushback. So I'm going to start the engines here and drive off myself, because I just don't want pushback to fuck me over like it always does. I'm sick of it. Down here is the business end of it all. We're going to press the start switch, and then we're going to flick engine 2, I should say, on. Now, last time I made the mistake of starting engine 1 too quickly. So we are going to take our time here and just make sure it properly starts up by the time that I start engine 1. I do like the Qatar Airways livery. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Love the grey and the purple writing. It's quite classy. N2 value is increasing, which is good. Okay, we're starting engine 1. And we'll see if I get a warning message. That's what happened last time. We can prep a few things down here, including the flaps to 2. We're going to arm the speed brake. We're going to turn our wind shear to auto, system thingy to 1. That's the radar, not the thingy. There we go, 1. And you can see for Toga, 87.5% thrust, there's a little orange marker there. So if I do full throttle, it should stop at that orange marker. We can go back here and switch our engine start switch to normal. APU bleed can come off now as well, which is there. And then we'll turn the master switch off there. I don't think we'll need anti-ice because there's just no clouds. This is the clearest, driest place in the world. I always like doing window heat on though, so we'll switch that on. We're going to set the trim. Haven't done that yet. Again, I've not flown this in a while, but there you go. Flight control, and that's the figure there. So we need to change that to up 0.9. Come on, there we go, 9. Okay, we're trimmed up. We can turn our taxi and runway turn-off lights. So taxi and runway turn-off lights, and strobe, that can go on as well. Auto brake, we'll put on max. We'll check the cabin as well, which is that, yeah. And then it just says here on my last little to-do list, test. So just test the takeoff configurations. That's that button. I've clicked it. Takeoff configuration normal. Are the chocks still on? Yes. Chocks off. Right, let's turn this round. This is what I mean, there's no planes, so I'm just going to do a little turn around here. I don't actually know where I'm going. Okay, it's the runway in front of me, so I need to turn left and go down this apron on the hotel taxiway and come round. And the airport that we're flying to, as I say, I'm not going to try and pronounce the name of it. We're going to call it Thiru for short. It's in southern India. I did check it out just to see if it was loading properly in the game and make sure the scenery was okay. It's very nice. It's very idyllic, very beautiful little area, and it's really well modelled. I got some freeware scenery. It cost me nothing. It's done by just a hobbyist, and it was really good. It's actually better than some of the payware scenery you've seen. So looking forward to showing you guys it. It's always very eerie going through just an empty airport, but it's quite nice. And also the Traffic Global plugin I do have, the AI aircraft, they're all so stupid. They don't have any knowledge of the rules of the road. They don't give way when they should be giving way. Absolute maniacs, a lot of them. This by no means is going to be a perfect demonstration of how to take off in an A320, but we'll do our best. We'll give it a go. Okay, let's pull on the brakes, turn on our landing lights, taxi lights to take off, runway turn off lights off. Let's go. 50% thrust. Everything seems normal. Releasing tow brakes. Toga. It's registered that I'm in Toga because it's stopping my thrust limit at that little orange mark that we mentioned earlier. We're about to hit V1, which will be our rotate. There we go. It should call it out really on these planes, but it didn't. And we are up. That's a positive rate, so landing gear is going up. We'll engage our auto throttle, which actually is already engaged, which is good. Sometimes it does it automatically, sometimes it doesn't. It's very temperamental. That's looking good. We're going to go one notch of flaps up. But we are on climb mode now, it says on my screen here. You can see lever climb. That will just push our speed up gradually to, yeah, around 200. And it's behaving a lot better than it did last time. And it should hopefully calm down a bit speed-wise, although it's not looking like it's going to. I'm going to put in speed mode now, just to control this a little bit. Yeah, because we're over speeding. And this is what happened last time. Very frustrating. It just overspeeds immediately. Luckily we haven't overspeeded too much. I am going to go into autopilot now. I think when it was flashing lever climb, I should have put it into that setting. Maybe it was my flaps being out still as well. We haven't broken anything, it's fine. We just oversped a little bit. Because we've taken off now, speed brake can go out of armed mode, and because we've taken off, we're going to turn the landing lights off. So you can see there's a bit of wind at play, it's a bit bumpy. But we have taken off. So with the speed, I did reduce it manually earlier because we were overspeeding. I'm now done a 1-dot click on it, which means it should increase to the speed that's loaded in the MCDU, FMC, whatever you want to call it, which means, according to it, we should be going to, yeah, 250. And you can see there's a pink arrow there. So this will be a test just to see if it's obeying the flight management computer. Well, a slightly chaotic takeoff, but nothing too dramatic. Just me not really understanding how Toga works. And I'm sure you'll all give me very useful and patronizing feedback in the comments, and I look forward to that. It's my favorite thing about doing this. But genuinely, I do appreciate the tips and advice. I'm not bitter. I don't know everything. I'm not good at this. I have a working knowledge of most of it, but there's always things that either I forget because I've not played this in a month, 2 months, or that I just have misunderstood. So I welcome the advice. Don't say, oh, look at this idiot. He shouldn't be flying a plane. Of course I shouldn't. I'm not a pilot. I'm a bloke in his bedroom. This is very FPS friendly around here because literally there's nothing to see. I'm doing 45 frames per second, which I never do on X-Plane. It's because there's nothing. There is nothing to see. It's all just desert and the odd road. Yeah, it is very turbulent, isn't it? Moving around quite a bit. And that, I think, was the airport last night that I thought we were landing at. But yeah, I thought it was that one when we were coming in, but it wasn't. Our airport was over there. Okay, so we're continuing our ascent, and it's rather nice out here. A few little islands and stuff. Not much to see here, and there won't be much to see for a while because we're just flying over the ocean. Oh, we're orientated weirdly. Oh, what am I doing? This is... I didn't know it did that. Anyway, no, stop it. Over this bit of sea, then we will be going over Oman, across the ocean there, and to South India. We're 18,000 feet, put the seatbelts off. So I think for the time being, we'll chill. I'll do a few little shots of our cruise once we're at cruising altitude, and I'll speak to you again when we're descending. Sound good? All right then, bye. Okay, welcome back, and we are pretty close to the start of our descent. You can't quite see it yet, but there'll be a little arrow that appears here soon. It has been a pretty long and boring flight, if I'm honest. It's just over ocean. You know, it's nice. There's clouds, and it looks cool, I guess. So we don't have our ILS frequency in here yet. Sometimes it automatically updates it. It might be because I'm not quite close enough yet. But let's just put it in now. Let's get it done. You can see here that our ILS intercept is going to be 2,000 feet, and that will take us down here. So I'm going to write a few of these bits of information down. Where's my pen? Why is it here? Ugh. Right, 318 degrees is the course of that final approach onto the airport. You can see it there, 318. The ILS frequency is here, 109.9. What else do we need to know? Our decision height, here we go. So that's going to be 260. So let's go back to the plane. And you can see here, oh, in that time, me checking the chart and coming back, it has automatically put in our frequency. It does do that. Perhaps I was literally just a minute away from it automatically doing it. I was about to put it in manually, but no, we're all good. 336 is not the course I thought it would be. I thought it would be 318. Where's it got 336 from? Yeah, it's definitely 318. So that's wrong. Yeah, it's not correct. So we'll put in 318. There you go. The A320 does strange things sometimes, so it might just be a little mistake. But we have that information all in now. Then we go to our progress page, and you can see here we've got a to box here where we're going to. So this is where we'll put in the airport name and the runway. So that is going to be VOTV 32. Pop that in there. Performance, and if we go next phase, that's our descent, so we'll do a managed descent. 304 is about right, that's fine. Then here we have some stuff to fill in. 29.80 QNH. Temperature on that same page on Navigraph is 24 degrees. 24 in. The wind 320 degrees, 5 knots. So 320, was 320? Yeah, 320 / 5. So it's saying our approach speed should be 135, and our landing speed should be 130. Barrow, barrow, barrow. So that is our decision height. So we wrote that down earlier. That's 260. So we'll go 260 in. Landing configuration, it's already in full. If we wanted to change that, you could click it and it would go configuration 3, but we're going to go full. Ooh, and if we look at our chart now, you can see there's our arrow. See that arrow there? That's when we're going to start descending. When we do start descending, once we do that, we'll enter the QNH of our arrival airport into the plane. We'll be doing a managed descent, so that is a 1 dot on set altitude. So basically in here, we'll put in, I don't know, 4, 5, 6,000, and then you see there's 1 dot there, but if I move it slightly, there's 2 dots. We want it to be 1 dot. I'll click that, and it should go into a managed descent. And a managed descent, basically, it'll set a scale of speed to get to the target altitude as soon as possible. It's much better for fuel efficiency. Most airlines use that when they're descending, so I tend just to do that. We are coming up to our final bit of action. The thing I'm stressed about for sure is this manual bit. Always am, because going out of autopilot into manual and then back into autopilot is tricky. I'll be using the lock button for sure to help us. We used that on the 777 when we did the same thing, and that actually was quite helpful. I probably should have used that sooner. So hopefully this will be smoother. We also need to think about our landing brake settings. I haven't really used this much before, but you can input landing performance. So 320, 5 knot wind, outside temperature 24, that was correct. QNH, yeah, that's in HPA, which is a different conversion, but that is correct. Dry runway, yeah. Anti-ice off. Landing weight, I think, will be, yeah, around that. Landing configuration full. The air conditioning, I assume that's on, yeah. Pilot VAP, the approach speed. We wanted it to be 135, I think. Brake mode low. Reverse, we will try and use the reverse thrusts. I do hope that it works. And let's compute. So basically, when we're landing, we should have a pretty big margin if our brake settings are on low mode. Auto brake is now into low mode. So where should I descend to? What height? We'll go 4,000. Just don't want to miss the ILS. Don't want to give myself too much to do when we go into manual mode. Yeah, it's not a huge amount to see in an A320. It's pretty standard, 3 seats either side. But yeah, I think anyone who's flown in a plane in their life will have probably been in an A320 at some point. One of, if not the most commonly used plane by most airlines. Look out the window. There you go. Ooh. Inside the seat slightly there. There we go. Yeah. It's nice. I think they've had a good flight. I'd like to think so anyway. There's not many of them. Oh, forgot to pick up the passengers. We've all been there. So there's the arrow. We are approaching it now. We're just going into our turn at CIA. Pretty much there on the arrow, so I'm going to just do it. So 1 dot, click. You can see it's now gone into descent. That's our vertical speed dropping. And we'll change the altimeter as well while we're here. So it's 29.8. There we go. And because we're descending, I will put on our seatbelt signs. Yeah, that's the view in the cockpit. It's nice. It's quite cool, isn't it? Look at that. We're about to do a left turn. This is why I love doing this. It's just such a cool thing to witness. When you're in a plane as a passenger, you don't see this view. That's the worst thing about it. You got the side view. You don't really see what's coming. You just see what's passing. So things are all going to go white for us in a minute once we dip a bit further down. This is always the perilous part, because now we're just fully relying on the instruments and not really knowing where we're going. I'm slightly worried because if you look at our map, we need to be at 5,500 here-ish, and then we've got to get to 2,500. We're going to kill 2,000 feet here, which is not going to be very easy, so I'm tempted to overrule the FMC here. Plane looking great. You see our little pilots. There they are. They seem happy. Okay, what I am going to do now is I'm going to go into probably an open descent. There we go, you see, we've triggered open descent. It is going to increase our speed, so we'll put some speed brake out. We are going to have to go into manual soon though. Okay, we're at 4,000. The open descent was a good idea, I think. So we're turning left now. I'm going to press another 2 dots So we're going to go into open descent again. Keep the speed brakes out, I think. Out of autopilot. We're at 2,500. That's good.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
Yeah, sync rate's fine. Sync rate's fine.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
There we go. Okay. Lock button activated. And so is autopilot. Oh, I think that's our landing gear, actually. That's why it's getting panicked. I'm going to arm the speed brake. Put some flaps down. Oh, no. It's chosen the wrong direction. It's chosen the wrong direction. Stop. Everyone stop overspeed. Well, obviously. Okay. We're in trouble here. We are in trouble. We're landing in just the cloudiest place in the world. The speed's fine. Shut up. This is going to be a bit chaotic. Cabin's ready. Flaps full. Spoilers are armed. Oh, great. That's helpful. Yeah, this is not good. This is not good. I'm going to press the approach button. I think I'm too high, so I'm going to go a bit lower. We might need to go around here, to be honest. I'm not feeling great about any of it. Oh, there's the runway. You see, just comes out of nowhere, and we are not going to be able to land that. Okay, we're going to go around. I'm not happy with any of that. So we're going to go flaps back up and climb to 3,000 feet. So we are going to have to attempt that again. Landing gear back in, obviously. The problem is I just have no bearings right now, and this is where you got to rely on your instruments, but I'm not very good at relying on my instruments. Also, my mum's picking me up in around 15 minutes, so I really need to get this landing sorted out. Well, that was all a shit show. I am kind of travelling down here again. I'll do a turn, but I'll start my approach kind of early here, just so I'm ready to latch onto that ILS. It was just all a mishmash of timings there, to be honest. Speed, I need to be lower than that. I want 200. Okay, this wiper's annoying. Do it slowly. There we go. We're going to put our landing lights on. Not that that's going to help me, really. I think I've regained control of the plane here. We're at 2,000 feet on autopilot. We're using heading now as our way of navigating rather than using the nav computer. So once we get to where we need to go into our left turn, I will alter the heading and just use that. We're decelerating to 200 knots, so I'm going to do some flaps. All this faff for AJ and Bob's wedding. Just get married here. Get married in the UK. Look at the faff. Look at the faff. In fairness, they do have a wedding in the UK, and then there's an Indian wedding. And I do want to go to the Indian wedding. I just hope the pilots I have are more competent than me. I'm sure they will be. So I'm here. I want to turn around and come back here, basically. And once we're on the heading of 318, we'll press the localizer button. That's the approach line, so we're just slowly lining ourselves up. You know, I did say as well, this airport's beautiful, it's such a nice area. Can't see any of it. Typical! I've got real weather on as well, so I'm doing it realistically, but that is annoying. I would like to have been a beautiful, sunny evening landing. We are on the right heading now. I'm going to press the localizer button. Lock is in. It is flying it now to the ILS intercept, which is great. Speed I'm going to decrease to 150. No, not 142, 150. And very soon we'll click the approach button, put the landing gear down, go full flaps. We could do full flaps now, to be fair. Because it's windy and because I could balls up this landing, I'm going to put auto brakes to medium. I want to stop as quickly as possible, so we're going to change the auto brake setting. Pressing the approach button now. Hopefully that GS, you see there, goes green. Drop the speed again, and we're going to drop the landing gear. We are a bit lower than the ILS intercept, which is fine. Just means it might take a bit longer than usual for us to latch on to the glide slope. We'll reduce the speed a bit more to 143. Yes, GS. You see it? That means we are on. Whew! I was getting a bit nervous there. Okay, speed now dropping to 135. So usually I would take off autopilot at like 1,000 feet. I literally can't see anything. You can see the ground. We're near it. Ah, okay. See that? That little slither of light there? That is the start of the runway. We're at 700 feet. We're going to let it take us in. Look at that. This is some of the worst conditions. It's not windy, really. It's a wind coming towards us. It's a headwind. That's fine. But the visibility is shocking. Going to disengage stuff in a minute.
100 above. 300. Minimum. 200.
Okay, disengaging autopilot. Reducing speed. Auto throttle off.
100.
And
50,
it's just going to...
40, 30, 20. Retard. Retard. 10.
Power's off.
5.
There we go. Bit of a bounce. Wasn't my best landing at all. But we are down. That front wheel took a while to come down as well. But, hey, we did it. We have arrived. Wasn't my best landing, but it was a landing. And it was safe-ish. It was the correct decision to go around. Absolutely. That was a good decision. Good decision. Because that first approach was, well, it was shocking. Well, look, as I taxi back, that has been the longest flying session, albeit with a little sleep break in between, but the longest flying session I've ever done. And it was exhausting, mentally exhausting. By the time we got to the landings on both legs, I was knackered and made some poor decisions, for sure. That was hard. That was hard. And having not played this game for 2 months, I'm pretty pleased that I've managed to complete that. And hey, we've made it to AJ and Bob's wedding. That is going to be the journey I'm going to have to take. In we go. There we go. We'll hold it there. We have arrived at Thiruvananthapuram. It's been a journey. It really has. Let's look at the landing replay. I don't think it was my best landing. I think I floated a little bit. Don't mind that smoke, by the way. That's just it glitching. I floated for sure when I came in. We'll have a look here. Yeah, there's the float. Oh, yeah. And then I killed the power there. Came back down and then, boo, heavy. Heavy landing. Nose doesn't want to go down at all. Then it finally does. Yeah. It wasn't a great landing at all. I always like this view as well. This view's cool. And it should show just how shit my landing was. So I flare far too early. Float. And then I'm just floating, kill the power, bang onto the back wheels. Look, I would have loved to have been a nice landing. Well, thank you so much for joining me again on Drunk Approach. Sorry it's been a while. Hopefully that was worth it. There's a lot in there. That's a big video. I don't know what the edit's going to be, but it's a long video, that. So do follow me on Instagram. That's Drunk Approach Vids. TikTok as well. I think that's also called Drunk Approach Vids. And please do subscribe and like the video as well. That's always very helpful for me. Really appreciate it. And I promise that the next video won't be in a month and a half's time. I'll try and do one sooner than that. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.